Okay, Chapter 8, Day 2. We're still working with logs. We introduced them in Day 1. Today what we're going to focus on is how do we evaluate expressions and how do we solve equations using logs. We're going to do some evaluating, then we're going to do some solving. So we have to use yesterday's or last class's work on switching exponential to log form. Also, we have to understand what it is to evaluate this log. How do we look at a log? How do we say the base raised to the exponent? So we're first going to be looking at evaluating. Now, again, let's recap from last lesson. Okay, if I write log with a base of, let's say, a, and b here is in line with the log, what I'm saying is a to what power is b. So if I want to evaluate, I have to ask myself, this to what power gives me an answer of this? That's taking a log. Okay? So let's take a look. So let's evaluate. So if I evaluate log base 7 of 7, I'm asking myself 7 to what power is 7? I write it 7 to what power is 7, and again 7 here would be 7 to the first power. So I evaluate by understanding the meaning of this. Okay, if I were to write this symbol, you would say that is the square root of 25. How do we read that? Okay, well, with square roots we would say what number times itself is 25. Instead of writing all of those words, we do this. Logs is no different. Instead of writing all of these words, we write this. 7 to what power is 7? 7 to what power is 7? Well, 7 to what power is 7 to the first? X has to be 1. 7 to the power, 7 to the first is 7. You can do this without setting up an equation if you want to. You can just, hey, 7 to what power is 7? That's 1. Just the same way when I write the square root of 25, you might write 5. Let's take a look at a few others, okay? So, I read this as 2 to what power is 16? 2 to what power is 16? All right, do you have to write this in words? No, you can if you want. 2 to what power is 16? I know 2 to the 4th is 16, so my answer is 4. All right, how did I get that again? I said 2 to what power, all right? To what power is like writing the x, equals 16. Well, I know 16 can be written as 2 to the 4th. We just did that in chapter 7. Now I know x has to equal 4. My evaluated answer here is 4. 3 to what power is 27? 3 to the 3rd is 27. I just write 3. I don't really have to go through this process when I'm evaluating, okay? Now, sometimes you might see a number out in front. That just goes along for the ride and multiplies by the answer that you get. So, 4 to what power is 64? All right? 4 to the first is 4, 4 squared is 16, 4 cubed is 64. So this is equal to 3, and I still have a 2 out in front of it, and 2 times 3 I know is 6. Just the same way if I were to write 2 radical 25, well, square root of 25 is 5 times 2, I would get 10. Again, I'm just evaluating. 4 to what power is 64? 3. 2 times 3, 6. All right? Sometimes there might be more than one item here, okay? So, log base 5 of 125 plus 3 log, there's no base here. And remember, if you don't see a base, it's base 10. My suggestion is to write in base 10. It reminds you what the base is. 3 log base 10 of 100 over log 3, log base 3 to 27. Well, I'm evaluating each of these pieces, okay? So let me put out my fraction line. All right, on top, 5 to what power is 125? Well, that's 5 to the third power. Plus 3 times 10 to what power is 100? 10 squared is 100. Divided by 3 to what power is 27? That's 3. All right, so what do we get? We get 3 plus 6 over 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So if I were to evaluate all this, I get the answer of 3. Come side notes here that's really important to know. Okay? If I took log base 7 of 0, 7 to what power is 0? Doesn't exist. If I raise 7 to any power, I get an answer. So, in this case, there's no solution. Any log of 0 is undefined, okay? There is no solution here, undefined, all right? Another common one, log base 6 to 1. 6 to what power is 1? Well, anything to the 0 power is 1. So again, I don't care what the base is, log of any base equal of 1. For any base, you get an answer of 0. I don't care what the base is. If it's log 1, the only way it can happen is if the base is raised to the 0 power. So those are two common logs, facts that you need to know, okay? First of all, you can never take the log, I don't care what the base is, you can't take the log of 0, all right? No base raised to a power is 0, so that's undefined or no solution. And the log of 1 is always 0 because any base raised to the 0 power will always be 1. I don't care what this is. Raise it to the 0 power, you get 1. So now let's look at solving. So if I solve for the missing piece, all right, notice in the first example, the missing piece, the x is located here. In the next one, the x is located over there. It can be located anywhere, all right? Solve. So notice there's an equal sign where before there wasn't. We're actually solving an equation. Well, first you need to switch to exponential form. So you need to do what we did in the first day, which is take away the word log, trade your exponent in your answer. So again, I'm going to take away the word log, and I'm going to take these two items and switch their places. So I get 10 to the 3 equals x. Okay, take away the word log, trade exponent and answer. Leave the base. Well, 10 to the third power I know is 1,000. Right? Looks like a 6. And there's your answer. Solved. I can check it. All right, I put 1,000 in here. 10 to what power is 1,000? 10 to the third power is 1,000. Get rid of the word log, trade, exponent, and answer. 5 to what power is 625? I don't know. Maybe I do know. But what we try to do is use methods from last chapter. So 5 to the x is 5 to the, well, 625. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125. Times 5 would be 625. So x is 4. 5 to what power is 625? That's 4. Okay. Let's keep going. Again, get rid of the word log. Trade exponent and answer. 8 to the half power. If you remember from last chapter, half power means the square root of. Okay. Square root of 8 is not a rational number, it's irrational, but I can simplify it, and I have to simplify it when possible. And so again, this is the square root of 4, square root of 2, this is 2, square root of 2. And there's your answer. So this class is all going to be about solving equations and evaluating. Okay? This to what power is that? Just keep that in your focus. That's it.